Alright guys, welcome back to Average Devs. Today we're going to be diving into variables and data types in Python. Um, that stuff from like math class that you never thought you would use, but now you got to use it because you decided to become a programmer, like a nerd. Um, but if you don't know what variables are, because you were, I don't know, touching grass or something, then variables are like containers that store information. And we will use those containers to then retrieve that information whenever we need it. So, like a water bottle stores water, and when you need it, you drink it. Water bottles are variables. It's the same thing if you carry the one. Um, so, let's get into this. We're in our Hello World program from earlier in the last video. And so, right here we had a print statement, but instead we're going to remove our little program from there, our little hello world statement, and we're gonna create a new line up here, and let's do something like message equals, and then we'll do hello world. And so now if you see how the message appears blue, and when we hover over it, it can tell that it's a variable. So message is our variable, and we've named it message. And then the equal sign is setting like the status of it to hello world. So this equal sign, if message is like the water bottle, and the hello world is going to be like the water, then the equal sign is if you're pouring water into the water bottle. It's when you fill up your water bottle. And so then we have our print statement right here. And if we want to get our hello world message into the print statement now, instead of typing something like hello world like that, instead what we're going to do is get rid of the quotes and the message, and we're just going to type in message like so. And so now what we're doing is we set message to hello world, and then we're going to print message. And so it knows that inside of message is hello world. So when we run the program, we're going to get hello world right here. So there are different types of data types, right? So right here, this would be a string. That's how we do hello world. All right, so then there's going to be different types of data types. So message right here is going to be a string data type, but there are different ones like numbers. So when we have numbers and we'll want to set it to a number, we don't want to have quotes around it because then it will think it's still a string. If we take away the quotes, you'll see how it's green. This means that it understands it's a number that we want, which will allow us to do math in the future. There are also floats if something is floating. So we could do decimal equals 42.5. So this would be a float because it's 0.5, it's not a whole number. And then last but not least, we have a Boolean, which is true or false. So we do something like touch grass and set that to false. And you make sure that you put a capital. And so now you can see if we change our print right here, or actually we're not going to change our print. We're just going to make 4 new print statements. And so we're going to do one as numbers, one as decimal, and then another as touch grass. And so now if we run our program, you can see what we're going to get is 42, 42.5, and fall. Now, it's also important to know that your variable can be anything. It doesn't have to be like message, numbers, decimal, touch grass. Like I can change this to X, this to Y, Z, and I don't know, T. And then we just change these to X, Y, Z, and T. And then when we run our program again, we get the same thing. Now, when you get further into programs, you might want to do things like math, right? Everyone loves math, probably. Well, you could do something like y, and you could do plus, or actually let's do minus, so we'll do the minus sign, and then we'll subtract z from it. So we're going to be doing 42 minus 42.5, and then over here we're going to do z plus y. And so now when we print, you can see that we'll get hello world, and then we'll get a negative 0.5, and then we'll get a positive 84.5, and we'll get false. And so what we're doing here is we're taking one variable, subtracting it from another. Alright, so now let's say we want to like combine some more, right? Let's get rid of all of this, and we could do something like name equals Bob, and then we'll do Bob's age is 25, and we want to print out a sentence telling us Bob's name and age without typing in Bob and 25. So what we can do is do name, right? So this would print Bob, and we'll do plus, and then here we're going to add in is, and so this is a string, just like Bob is a string, but we're having it inside of the print statement. And then what we need to do is, because age is not a string right now. Now we could put quotes around it and make 25 a string, and then we could do age plus, and then years old, like so. And now when we run the program, Bob is 25 years old. It prints it right there. But let's say the age is a number, because 25 is a number. So it's going to be an integer. And now if we run the program, we get an error. It doesn't like that. But what we can do is inside of our print statement, we can convert age to a string by typing str, which stands for string, and then putting parentheses and putting age in the parentheses right here. So now it's telling us, so we had a number, and now we're telling it that the number is a string. And now when we print it, right here you can see Bob is 25 years old. Or if that's hard for you guys to see, I can run it again. Right there. Bob is 25 years old. You gotta watch out for little errors like that. Sometimes when you're doing a big program, you'll forget, like, hey, it's a number, and you'll just have age here, and then you'll run your program and it's not working. You can see here that it can only use a string, not an integer. So that tells you where to look It even points to it right here, so it's saying that trying to add an age is not working, and it tells you right here that the problem is on line 3. So we can go to line 3, we can look at it, see, okay, there's something wrong with this area, and that's how you can solve your problem there. Oh. Anyways, guys, that is the basics of variables and different types of data that you can store in them. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave any questions down below, and let me know if you guys would like any longer videos or more advanced programs in the videos. I know I do some really simple stuff, but I really want to make sure everyone understands the basics before we get into complex stuff. And I like these short form videos because I know the last thing I want is a super long video where I have to sit there for like 30 minutes learning all this stuff and then I just forget it anyways. I've watched thousands of videos just like that, and it really just kind of bummed me out and made me not want to program. So I hope you guys are enjoying the content. And remember, let's build a community of average devs together.